Off with his head. Off with the head. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, I have been avoiding speaking about the whole Epstein files and everything that's going on there. Not because I don't care or I don't think it's important to speak about. It's just because it saddens me so much to the point of where I can't sleep, I can't eat. I've read some of the files and the things in there are disgusting. And if this is what was released, I can only imagine the stuff that we don't know. But this morning, the former Prince Andrew, now known as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, which taking the Mountbatten name is also a joke thing because the former Mountbatten was also problematic, allegedly. Formerly known as Prince Andrew, also the King's brother and the future King's uncle, has been arrested in the UK on suspicion of misconduct in public office and also amid allegations that he had links to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Detectives who arrested Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor are examining his conduct as trade envoy for the UK after disclosure of emails from the late disgraced banker Jeffrey Epstein. So the former Duke of York was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The arrest appeared related to his conduct as a UK trade envoy and followed the disclosure of emails related to Epstein. Among the files released by the US Department of Justice were documents that appeared to show the former prince forwarding sensitive government documents and commercial information to the convicted sex offender. This is important, he has consistently denied any wrongdoing when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, and allegedly the files and emails that he sent to Jeffrey Epstein were sent minutes after he received the information. So he was not doing the job that he was meant to be doing. Also, the role that he had as the UK trade envoy, he wasn't even supposed to have that role. The Queen gave him that role. As far as I know, King Charles tried to sway his mother from giving Prince Andrew that role, but his mum was like, he needs something to do. He's not going to be king, so let's give him something important to do. And that's the problem with having royal families anyway, and nepotism, but that's a video for another day. What is important to note is that he hasn't been arrested for any of the sex crimes that were in the files. Obviously, we saw the picture when he was leaning over the girl. We've seen other various pictures of him that put him in compromising positions, but he wasn't arrested for that. He was arrested for what he'd done when he was in UK public office. Now, what I want to go into is, obviously he was arrested this morning. By the time I've got around to making this video, he's already been released and investigation is commencing. The police are currently raiding or searching 2 of the King's properties because, as we know, earlier this year, Andrew lost his title as Prince and he lost his stately home that he was offered as part of the royal family. So he had to move into one of the King's private estates that was paid for personally by the King and not by the UK taxpayers, even though the King don't have a job like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's still paid for by us, but I guess the King also probably has investments, so he is earning. But either way, he wouldn't be able to have investments if it wasn't for the UK taxpayers. So we're still paying for the shit. But whatever. Calm down, Emma. Calm down. And if I know the UK police like I think I do, having grown up in the UK all my life, no charges are going to be brought to this man. They're going to say they couldn't find anything. They can't confirm the files are legit. They can't confirm the emails are legitimate. They arrested him, they've done the investigations and they can't find anything. I bet you that's what's going to happen. Or if there is clear evidence of the sex trafficking and the sexual offences, he will be charged for this because this is a lesser crime and it doesn't look as bad as in the royal family. Now, by law, the royal family can't get involved with anything to do with the police or the law in the UK. They can't get involved. But we all know they have influence over those institutions. The prisons are still called His Majesty's Service, His Majesty's prisons. So they still have influence over that stuff. But I feel like no one trusts the royal family anyway in the UK. And everywhere I keep calling him Prince Charles. He's King Charles now, isn't it? Whatever. Everywhere King Charles and his mistress go, that's his wife now. Get over it, Emma. Everywhere Charles and his mistress go, they're being heckled now about this. The public aren't letting it go, and I'm glad the public aren't letting it go because Andrew needs to be held to task like everybody else. If anybody else in the UK done this, they'd be arrested. So I feel that this arrest is for show and they're going to do their little investigations, but it's like an institution investigating itself. I really don't think nothing's going to come from it. And if it does, it's going to be a slap on the wrist. So what did the documents that managed to get him arrested allegedly show? So it says in 2010, bearing in mind, Epstein was first arrested on child trafficking and child sexual abuse charges in 2008. And then again in 2019, which is when he allegedly, was killed. Whatever. Allegedly, he's dead now, but who knows? But yeah, in 2010, Andrew appeared to have forwarded government report from visits to Vietnam, Singapore and China to Epstein, according to the recent published files. The emails indicated on the 7th of October 2010, Andrew appeared to send Epstein details of his official forthcoming trips as a trade envoy to Singapore, Vietnam, Shenzhen in China and Hong Kong, where he was accompanied by business associates of Epstein. This is messy. After the trip on the 30th of November, he appeared to have forwarded official reports of those visits sent by his then special assistant, Amit Patel, to Epstein 5 minutes after receiving them. The document also appeared to show that Andrew forwarded Epstein information on investment opportunities in gold and uranium in Afghanistan. These people, piss me off because they are so indulgent. Everything they do is for more power, more control. How much more money do you need? How much more people do you need to control? Anyway, the palace had something to say about this. What did King Charles say? So Charles obviously gave his backing to the police and he's like, the law must take its course. What now follows is a full and fair and proper process by which the issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Which, I'm sure they do. I feel like everyone wants to look after their family, but when your family member is this atrocious, you got to feed them to the wolves. Send them to the wolves. Off of his head. And you know what? This is actually a big deal because everything going on the Epstein files worldwide is disgusting. It's a big deal. We're seeing how many people globally are involved in it. But for the royal family, having the king's brother arrested is astonishing in modern history. And to be honest with you, I feel like the royal family, they're not viewed favourably anyway in history because of colonialism. And we know the history of King Henry VIII and all that, They're not viewed favourably anyway. But in modern history, they're going to be viewed terribly. Between everything that happened with Diana, the Princess of Wales, and then we look at Meghan Markle, and they kicked Prince Harry out the family for less, for marrying a mixed race woman. And then when they're done, they protected Andrew for so long. If you watch, and I really suggest you watch that BBC interview, the man can't even lie good. But the family backed him. They didn't say nothing. They weren't going to the press to try and get more stories on him so they could kick him out of the family. They backed him and kept signing. It's only now with the arrest that King Charles is saying something. I know a few years ago there was an event where Prince William was like, look Dad, I'm not going. If Uncle Andrew was going, I'm not going. And I think that was his way of saying that he doesn't support his uncle and what his uncle's been doing. And I guess as a future king, that's a great stance to have. And your other family members didn't have that. But you also kicked your brother out of the family for less. I don't know what goes on in the royal in the walls of Buckingham Palace. I don't know. But history is not going to look at this great, comparing what they done to Harry and Meghan versus how long they protected this. Donald Trump's come out and said something now, isn't he? Donald Trump doesn't know to keep his mouth quiet because he's all up and down these files. And I know they've been talking about celebrities and Jay-Z and Whoopi Goldberg and Naomi Campbell. She's the next one. I need to make a video about her. They've been talking about all these other celebrities to distract from Donald Trump. But the man can't keep his mouth quiet. He's made a statement. Let's read. So Donald Trump calls the arrest a very sad thing. You're lucky they're not arresting you, mate. He told reporters on Air Force One, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated so I can speak on it. It's a very sad thing. His brother, who is coming to our country very soon, the king, it's a very sad thing. Speaking about himself, Trump repeated that he is the one that can talk about it because he is totally exonerated. He says, I did nothing. I hate these people. I hate them. How is this man still president? So if I'm recording this at 7:25 in the UK, he has now been released from the police station. He was questioned for 12 hours. The police has gone and investigated the homes and he's been released. It doesn't say if he's been released without charge or whether he's been charged. The police are keeping that to themselves at the moment. To be honest with you, they didn't even want to tell us. No, they didn't want to tell us. It's the law. They didn't even tell us who they had arrested, but it was clear. So we don't know any further information whether he's been charged or not. I'm guessing that he hasn't been charged and he won't be charged because the government, the law and the royal family are all one. They act like they're not. They tell us that they're not, but they are. And I feel like this is low-key a little bit of a PR stunt for the royal family so people can stop heckling them. But no, let the heckling commence because we want this man under the jail. That's all I have to say. I'm going to start getting upset. Please let me know your thoughts on all of this. I might do a video on Naomi Campbell. It depends how I sleep tonight because I just hate these people and this. Let me know your thoughts below and I'll come back with a lighter video. Let me talk about America's Next Top Model or something. Thanks guys. Speak to you later. Bye.